Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. God, this show is bad. I'm John Reckland with a retro review of WCW Thunder from October 11th, 2000 in Sydney, Australia. They just hosted the Olympic Games, and they got this. It wasn't good. I'm just going to say that right now. It wasn't good. 18,000 fans, though. Hey, that can't be beat. I mean, it could have been beaten by American crowds when WCW could actually draw fans, but now they have to go overseas. And hey, it's a respectable crowd. Actually, really goddamn good, but WCW is in the toilet by this point. Jeff Jarrett and Scott Steiner arrive. Scott Steiner chokes out Shawn Stasiak. I want Booker T, and Stasiak can't answer. Somebody can't answer you if you're choking them out, Scott. Benoit learned that a number of years later. And then Shane and Tori are talking about Conan and Tigress, and Shane mentioned something about drugs. It's like if something about pushers, and I've got your fix. Well, Shane would know about drug use, wouldn't he? And then Shane and Lance versus Conan and Hugh Morris, not good. The women fight because why the fuck not? Major Guns, Tigress, and Tori. Kidman runs in and attacks Shane because we need that feud to continue after the Viagra on a pole match and also the Pittsburgh plunge scaffold match. And No Laughing Matter pins Douglas 1, 2, 3. Let's roll right along. Stasiak and Sanders are talking. Stasiak's like, you got to give Scott what he wants. I nearly died. And then Sanders says, hey, give me my kangaroo back. There is a stuffed kangaroo that he wanted back. That was more important than helping his friend, I guess. And then we get Sam Greco, some kickboxer guy that I'm not really familiar with him, but he's from Australia. He got a decent pop from the crowd, but it seemed like some of them knew him, but some of them really didn't care. And Miller introduced him, and we had the Thriller showing up. Miller said, hey, Sanders, I hired your mom for a couple hours last night, and she didn't complain. Your mama jokes. They never get old, except they totally fucking do. Even in 2000, they were old. And talking about pulling his something or other, because that's what Sanders was pulling. The only stroke he's got is when he was pulling it. Seriously, dick jokes and your mama jokes. What's better in 2000s wrestling? So we get Sanders versus Mark Madden later. Oh, dear God, we don't really need to see that. I mean, nobody wanted Mark Madden. That's why his mother left and never looked back. So we think of Miller versus Nash later. Oh, no, but it's actually going to be Sanders versus Sting. But we get a bullshit thing with that. We then get Greco knocking out Shawn Stasiak. Poor Shawn Stasiak, he just never got, he never got featured properly. He was a good athlete. I don't understand why he didn't. Like, he left WWE, went to WCW for, I'm assuming, better pay and probably a better schedule, and then came back and they made him Planet Stasiak, made him a goof and everything, and just don't understand it. Jindrak and O'Hare versus Lasharoo and Chavo. Not good. There were a lot of boring chants. This crowd really was not very good. 18,000 fans, and they really were not very good to some of the show, to be fair. WCW wasn't all that great. They were like, we're getting a live American promotion, and then, oh, wait, it's WCW, not from 96, but from 2000. Frog Splash for 2, and Lash ends up pinning Jindrak for 3. New champs, except Sanders says, wait, the old tag champions get an automatic rematch, which they get, and we get a bullshit chant. We get O'Hare messing up a goddamn tag belt spot where he really just had to drop the damn thing because he was very green by this point. And we get a Shanton Bomb, 1, 2, 3. So the champs retain or win them back. And then we get Sergeant AWOL attacking both Thrillers. We get Skipper challenging Kidman later because Skipper wasn't happy that Shane Douglas got attacked by Kidman, I guess, and because he interfered in Lance's match. Whatever, because reasons. Skipper should have never cut promos, because he was an intense individual, at least as far as looks, but just should have never talked, because all it evaporated when he started talking. And then we get Palumbo versus Goldberg. Oh boy, Palumbo was not happy about that. We get a Booker promo, hyping up, being in Australia, and the fact he's going to face Chronic. And, it's a brawl. We get a ref bump. Goldberg then comes through the crowd. It gets messy. My God, it gets messy. So many run-ins. Many run-ins, such wow. Palumbo then, he gets calling his mom. He's like, in a backstage segment, and the international rates must have been absolutely insane because they're in Australia after all. And then Skipper and Kidman, it was sloppy, and I don't understand this because Skipper is a good athlete, and so is Kidman. This wasn't good. The crowd cheered Duggan. A rope walk Rana was actually pretty impressive, not as impressive as the cage walk. Skipper was much more than that, but that's the thing he'll most be remembered for. And then Duggan with a 2x4 to Kidman, overdrive for 3, there we go. And Lava Lamp Lounge, the music was so loud that it drowned out everything. It would be like me playing a CD or playing something on my YouTube app on my Roku while I'm doing a video. And then Kwee and Paisley are there, the Harris Brothers, and the Harris Brothers lay everybody out and whatever. This is not something we needed. And the set keeps getting destroyed, yet keeps getting put back together. Palumbo versus Goldberg. Well, Goldberg seemed to have seemingly hurt his arm trying to do a punch, but then kept no-selling Palumbo's offense. Spear to Stasiak, who was at ringside. Spear to Palumbo, jackhammer for 3, and then he quickly hits a spear and a jackhammer on Stasiak and gets the victory. So he's 7-0 now. He won 2 matches within like 2 minutes. Sanders versus Sting. It's Jeff Jarrett. He keeps doing the lay down things. Jarrett's like, no, he's dressed as Sting. He's like, I'm not going to do this. It's fucking bullshit. Nobody wanted this. Nobody wanted Jeff Jarrett in any kind of prominent position except Jeff Jarrett and Vince Russo. And then here, the Sting actually shows up. He's pissed. Sanders hits him with a bat, and this was bad. This was really goddamn bad. He eventually hits a Scorpion Death Drop 1, 2, 3. Miller's on commentary for this whole goddamn thing because we are continuing this feud between the commissioners, which is a feud nobody fucking wanted. We then get the Nazi Harris brothers. They have Nazi tattoos, by the way, in case you didn't know. Look it up. Versus Mike Awesome and Crowbar, the Princes of Polyester. And it's just a brawl. This is embarrassing because the Harris brothers couldn't fucking work at all. We get tables, because why not? We get chairs. We get a table toss, and Awesome gets the victory. Okay, cool. All right. And then he teases trying to bomb one of the other Harris brothers. I mean, at one point, well, actually, that was earlier in the match. It all blends together after a while. This was not a good show. Scott Steiner then yells about freaks worldwide and then faces Rey Mysterio in a match where Scott was equal parts yelling at fans and also no selling Rey's offense until he decided to sell it. Rey almost got the victory, but then got laid out with a recliner. And Sanders was on commentary for the following match. Miller versus Natch. And 5 minutes left, and the match ended after 2 minutes because Sanders caused a DQ. Booker runs in, Sting runs in, Jarrett runs in, Goldberg runs in. You get a run in, you get a run in. Everybody gets a fucking run in. Chronic then tries to attack Goldberg and goes for high time as the show goes off the air. Shorter review than normal because I have nothing for this. This was not a good episode, and Halloween Havoc's still 18 days away from this episode. And I got a few more things to get through before I get to the end of the Vince Russo era. And a couple more months until we get rid of Mark Madden on commentary and commentary really improves. Because it couldn't have gotten any worse unless they managed to somehow get Josh Matthews there in 2000. That would have been terrible. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.